Hello and welcome back to the Cube Counselor. Fans of people who can't think of good intros to their videos, I welcome you back. We're back for another week. Wanted to do another focused video this week. We actually have two kinds of cubes to do, to talk about. One a little more briefly and one a little more in depth. But first, let's do our cube check-in. Again, we thank all those who've been giving us great feedback on Twitter. Again, thanks. I have to mention him every week. John from Cultic Cube is always great with his feedback. Really makes me feel really good about doing this. I'm thinking about hiring him as my agent to represent me in all things in life. But I think he summarizes the show better than I do. So follow him on Twitter at Cultic Cube, C-U-L-T-I-C Cube, because he'll give a synopsis of the show that's much better than mine. So, and you can follow me on Twitter if I haven't mentioned at anti_drummer. If you want to follow me on there, where I usually promote when the new shows go up, and I do appreciate it. But yeah, last time we did a cube check-in, talked about what magic set you felt like. So continue to leave comments on the old videos. Don't think you can't go back. But this week we're going to say, what keyword in magic, what keyword mechanic are you feeling like today? So give yourself a couple seconds to think about it. Again, comment, hit me up on Twitter, like I said. Should have probably been plugging that a little bit more. I also haven't said in a while, again, I am a licensed clinical social worker, but I did want to encourage people to read the disclaimer below. This is not, even though we talk about therapeutic ideas and we kind of loosely base some of our videos on terminology from therapy, we're not intending this in any way to substitute any kind of real professional help, of course. We use the name Cube Counselor a little tongue-in-cheek because I do have a counseling background, and we are playing the greatest form of magic in Cube in many forms. So again, we have two different types of cubes to talk about, which it's been an exciting time for Cube. Inadvertently started this show, and it just seems like a lot of different cubes are popping up online. Partly because we're social isolating or physical isolating, not socially, of course. We don't want to encourage that. So we're physically distancing ourselves from people right now. So I think that's kind of encouraging them to expand horizons in a lot of different cubes. So that's been great for this, for me, and for other people who enjoy cubes, I'm sure. But yeah, now that you've had a couple of seconds to think about it, I am feeling like the keyword madness. I feel like, just when I think I'm going to be cast and on the board, I'm being discarded. But then, before it's too late, before I hit the graveyard, pay the cost, and now I'm being cast for a different cost. So I just feel like I'm a little bit all over the place right now, as you can tell by this incoherent rambling. So again, encourage you to tell me, do you feel like trample? Do you feel like first strike? Do you feel like horsemanship? Maybe you feel like horsemanship. I don't know. But yeah, we encourage you to comment below. But yeah, so first up, we have a cube that is on Arena right now, is the Historic Cube. So there's only about 3 years worth of sets plus some cards that they've peppered into the new format called Historic on MTG Arena, which I don't think we did actually play on here. Oh yeah, we did in one video. So, but yeah, if I can pull up the pictures, if I remember where I opened those. Oops, sorry about that. Maybe we'll edit this out. Maybe we won't. So we'll go over here. So first up, we made a mistake, and we accidentally wanted to do a pack one, pick one. I talked about this last time. People like the excellent Derek Gallen and Cultic Cube and other people post these awesome pack one, pick ones. And so we wanted to post ours this week. And oops, in our rush to take a picture, you see before time ran out here, we missed some. And I don't remember them being anything great. So I think we could still get the basic gist of what we're thinking about here. So I'll give you again a couple seconds to think about it, um, as I know what I was gravitating towards, and partly because there wasn't any bomb green cards in this pack, so that helped. But I was definitely on my top three: Helm of the Host, which I've just heard people talk about being insane in this type of environment. Ashiok, which was amazing, a Planeswalker for one, but two colors, and then I kind of gave it away here. I didn't realize I had highlighted my pick already. Next time I'll take the picture without doing that. But yeah, so you kind of get the sense these are the three that I was going towards here. And I ended up on Divine Visitation. And now, further exploring, um, part of Cube, is playing what you feel like playing. Of course, I can't just jam 5-color every time if that's what I like to do. I mean, I can. Of course, you can do whatever you want. This draft in particular, I think was the first one was free. I think this might have been my second one, but they're relatively cheap, and you can do whatever you want. If you want to make some copies, you want to play mono red, you want to do enchantment based, blue, tempo aggro flyers, whatever. You can do that. You want to pick a land, like Mr. Gallon we mentioned last week, you can do that too. So this time, you know what? I said I've heard good things about Divine Visitation in this cube. It seems like a cool build around, so that's what I want to do this week. So that was where I was at. But then now, with that being said, what do you picture next? What's the deck look like? Am I playing other colors? Do you know this cube enough to say whether it's black-white tokens or green-white tokens, or those are the typical combinations, but what do you know about this cube? Have you drafted this before? So these are all questions you explore as you get ready to sit down for a cube, and as you look at something like a pack one, pick one. So let me know, is this, sorry for the clinking mouse, I did get a new headset. I should tell people that. Hopefully it sounds a little better. I'm still a work in progress with the sound, so I appreciate people hanging in there with me. Is this what you pictured? Green-white seemed to be the token strategy in this. These don't necessarily go together, but still, this is just a good card. And you can't always rely on this. So I felt like I wanted to ramp a little bit more. I did not really get the option. Again, I'm not showing you every pick this time, because I think our last video was a little bit long, but I just wonder, in general, if this is what people pictured. I will say Fiend Artisan was very good, far beyond expectations. Got me what I needed, many times. Or just kind of mandated that removal spell because they were worried that I was going to, ramp into something else. They didn't know what I had, but, for me it was more of like a value engine. Get my Shalai to protect, get Tristani to pump, Ooze to create more, Night of Autumn to get rid of an enchantment. So it was kind of that Fauna Shaman pod type, card that I needed just to grab, what I needed when I needed it. When I did land Divine Visitation, if I got a chance to use it, there was multiple times where I cast Raise the Alarm at end step and created 2 angels. But I will say I did end up 2-3. I'm still struggling a little bit. Again, now that I'm thinking about it, this was my second draft of this cube. And I struggled against blue decks. If they countered this or countered my Settle the Wreckage, I really had a hard time. I maybe missed a couple picks, thought things were going to come back around that were a little more token based, but again, trying to build something that was a little more value centric without just going all in on my first pick. It felt good though. I felt like outside, I think I mentioned this the last time, outside of a best of one format, I think it would have been a little more successful, but it was still very fun. So again, this is just an exercise that I wanted to do today to see if that's what people pictured. Now, we also drafted the Legacy cube is up, and this was our first pack one, pick one for that. So I wonder, let's go a little deeper. What do you pick and what do you hope to wheel? as I'm thinking of this, again, I've already revealed my biases. The last draft, I tried to go to my cube schematic desensitization and pick something outside of my comfort zone. And I felt like I did that. You know, I mean, I do like green white tokens. I've played token strategies before, but it's not always my, you know, something that jumps out to me as a strategy that I want to do. It might be something I'm more back into, but not really, you know, jump right on. This one, I think it's a little more obvious where you know, if you've listened to these videos, where I'm leaning. I feel like the strongest cards in the pack are probably Mole Drifter, Underground Sea. You know, tip of the cap to the pick the lands first. Basalt Monolith is good ramp, not the best, but good. This is Legacy Cube again, so you know we're not playing Moxen. We're not. I actually think they took Signets out of this. I found out afterwards, so even slimmer on these really good payoffs. So I was probably between those three. I wanted Hornet Queen to come back around. Um, maybe could have taken this and, you know, blue back control. You know, white aggro's I think pretty good in this. But the three that I was on are these three, really, for me. I really like Multi-Drifter as a card. Blink, if there's a blink strategy, I love it. But I ended up with Natural Order. It's very strong, very good to get early, build around. You know, again, something that I'm learning as I cube more. You those cards that are more challenging to build around, sometimes it's easier to pick early. Some people would argue it's better to get them, you know, fifth or sixth pick when you're already in green, and then you're like, okay. But I felt like this was powerful enough to where if I pick it early, I can get, you know, some green ramp, and then, you know, change those small green creatures into something big. So again, with that being said, what do you picture then afterwards? What is on your mind when you think a Natural Order deck? So I had a couple builds going. This is what I ended up with. I ended up getting some good white cards in the middle, and you know, honestly, this was kind of a combination of the cube schematic desensitization and me going back to my biases. I don't remember exactly how it went, but I think I got Cultivate second or third, got one of the dorks early. Then I got a Swords to Plowshare, so I was like, okay, could have some removal. I think Legacy Cube is a little more on the ground. It's not as degenerate combo heavy. So I want to have some removal. Was hoping to get like a path or something else, or one of the enchantment-based removals. But this is where we ended up. So let me know if this is what you pictured. We got Tooth and Nail very late, I will say that. We got Terastodon probably middle of the first pack. And we really did not see much in the name of Green Fatties. So that was where we were really struggling. And these two cards, I really just liked this card, and I thought, you know, sacrificing it to this after playing Fiend Artisan in the Arena Cube, I you know, kind of wanted to try it here too. So there's actually quite a few cards. So oops, oh, that's from my dart. Hey, well, that goes with this. I wanted to. There's some lands down here. I don't think you can see. So I did have some white fixing, and then obviously cards like, you know, Steve and Search for Tomorrow and Utopia Sprawl, Cultivate. They're going to get the white mana, so I felt like it was kind of a free splash, and I wanted to try, you know, if I'm sacking this to Natural Order, this to this, it's pretty good. Again, didn't get as many smaller creatures as I wanted, so I felt like I was a little bit off of where I wanted to be. But there's several cards I wanted to try, so again, I still felt like it was a successful draft. I will say right off the bat, I think I ended up only casting Euron once and boarding him out most of the time. Luminous Broodmouth was very good, just because I felt like it demanded an answer. Sometimes they had to use, you know, an activated ability and a removal spell, or two removal spells, or you know, do all kinds of things to get it off the board while other things were happening. I don't think I ever actually got to bring anything back with it, so maybe it is a little too slow for Legacy, but in the sense that it just kind of drew their attention so much that I was able to do other things, because, you know, I had Eternal Witness out at one point. I don't remember what else. I think I had Nissa out at one point, so if they killed, Nissa, she's going to come back, get me another forest, maybe transform. Probably need a little more with that. So that was probably a little bit ambitious, but then again, you see, at one point I had taken through the breach and Infernal Titan, so I was kind of in between a secondary color, and that left me a little thin on green. So I could have just thrown these in and just, been whatever. But, again, wanted to try something different. These are fun, newish additions to the Cube. I think the first time up in Legacy for a lot of these. So, did want to try that. So I will tell you, I was 2-0, and I'm going to replay the final match for you all here. So, pull it up over here. So yeah, I'm going to replay that match for you. Again, do it like this time rather than live, so to be a little bit more considerate of people's time. But yeah, we're 2-0 at the time. Now we're 1-1. We're one win away from the trophy. And let's kind of see how it plays out in these first couple turns. So we have a decent hand. Yeah, I think they mulliganed every game too. They're on like a black-white, not a strategy I see often, but like just a black-white, removal heavy, mid-range. I didn't see any Reanimator, but they had some of these strategies, so I think maybe they were on that at first. Pack Rat comes up at one point, so I was like, all right, are they on Burial Rights? This card just kind of owns what I do here. But, we're feeling pretty good. We ramped up a little bit with Cultivate. We're pretty far ahead here. And yeah, we're feeling pretty good about it. Hopefully getting close to the 3-0 here. We're going to attack at Liliana, force him to block. We'll get the creature back from Voice of Resurgence. And yeah, we'll see what the opponent. So yeah, we'll go through a little quicker here. Sorry, slowing down a little bit. Thought I heard a kid coming down the stairs. So yeah, we're getting close here to the end. Sorry, we had an interloper there. Sometimes that happens. We're not cutting that part out either. We're leaving it in. But yeah, so again, I feel like, if they block any of these creatures, when this dies next turn, it's going to come back. So I'm feeling pretty good. But they end up doing that, and at some point, I think they're down to no cards here. Sorry, I'm clicking through. Yeah, this was huge. So they have the big boat in. Didn't feel like it was necessarily the best card against us, but it lined up really good there. And, that's all that matters in Cube. Again, not a strategy that I see, but the opponent made it work. And there's another card, I think, coming up that really housed us in this match. So that really ruined, we could have had 100 squirrels, 2/2s. Just, had what they needed right there. Otherwise, again, Broodmoth is pretty much running away with that game. So we don't pay the Echo here. And then we don't really draw what we need, but we... Oops, I went too fast. Sorry. So yeah, oops, went a little too fast. We get Terastodon. Don't know if that was the right call. I targeted Council Flagship. He turns it into a creature. This can only target non-creatures. So then he attacks, kills my elephant, and I still feel like we're doing okay if we draw something good off the top. But as we'll see here in a second, again, just kind of value cards doing what they need to do. Tooth and Nail doesn't get us there because I think he killed that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Land of War. So we could have got like Rex Sage, or we could have got something else. That was probably a bad block on my part. because he's able to block with the Murderous Redcap and then kill it with the double block. So that was probably a mistake on my half. But, you know, we're still feeling okay here. Still feeling like we could pull it out, but things like Search for Tomorrow and ramp cards, you know, not the best in this situation. So we do our best here to kind of stay alive. But you kind of get the sense here, and then the Anguish Unmaking, oh, that got us in the last game too. We were about to attack back with the Broodmoth. He had it. So you see we lose there because even if I play Wormcoil, he's got this in the air. So just didn't work out that time, but, you know, still we had a good run at it. We almost took down the 3-0, and, you know, can't really complain about that. So yeah, I know that I'm only showing one game here, but, you know, I hope that I gave, you know, an ever so brief synopsis. The reasons I wanted to try some different things, I felt like they worked pretty well. Again, Urion was probably ambitious, and I ended up boarding it out. But you know, Broodmoth was pretty good. You've got, you know, decent value creatures. You've got big fatties. If they don't, I think there was at one point they got rid of Kagla or something else right before as I was casting Broodmoth, because obviously if they kill it afterwards, it's going to bounce back. So there was a couple of times where, you know, again, it forced the hand of the opponent. So, you know, we'll see. Going forward, I don't know, you know, if green-white big fatties is the way to go. But it was really fun in this draft, and it, you know, again, just wanted to kind of highlight two different drafts and kind of how I got there. And the sweet natural order deck that almost got us the 3-0. I was pretty excited there, but it got us enough play points to run it back. So maybe we'll do another league to highlight our next video. I will let people know I did recently read an article from 2017 by Will Jonathan on Channel Fireball that's about Tilt. So you can just type Will Jonathan, just like traditional spelling, and Tilt, and it'll come up. You know, it should be the first option. So I encourage people to read that. We may kind of take a deeper dive into that and some of his thoughts as somebody who, you know, grinds the Magic scene and how he copes with difficult emotions. So I did want to kind of give people a heads up if they want to read that for next video or the one afterwards. But I do appreciate, again, all the feedback, and I appreciate people turning in. We'll try to keep this one a little bit shorter this time. Again, try to pepper in the longer videos with the shorter ones, make them a little more digestible. So we almost got the 3-0. We tried a different strategy in the Arena Cube. We enjoyed that. We're not having a ton of success in the Arena Cube, but that's okay. It's still very fun, and the price is right. And most of the time, it's pretty much free if you grind some coins here and there. And then with the Moto Cube, the Legacy Cube is back. They made some cool additions. I'm liking it so far. In what I've watched from other people drafting, I was just watching Cube Outside the Box, or he's Cube Oddity on Twitter, draft Arena Cube today. Watch, you know, Caleb draft the Legacy Cube, other people drafting the Legacy Cube. Always enjoy watching content creators draft around this time. It's up until July 1st, so they extended it, so I encourage people to do that. And we'll definitely be at least giving it one more go at it, depending. You may have caught a little hiccup in the video here. I had my interloper friend came in again. So I'm going to end this video now, go hang out with him and my daughter for a little bit. But again, remember, the point of this video is hopefully from what I do and what I play, maybe you can get some tips and tricks that I'm picking up, and they can help you play. And then hopefully, you know, you can give me some feedback. You know, what would you have taken from this pack, and where do you think you would have ended up if you had, you know, picked that Underground Sea first or something like that. So, you know, as we keep saying, we get better together. So we want to continue to encourage that, the feedback back and forth. I am also considering doing some streaming, because I think that might be better to interact with people. So let me know if that's something you're interested in as well. We thank you for tuning in, and take care.